In this episode, the Super Seicento is looking absolutely dashing. Hello you lot, Miller Corner here, welcome back to Super Seicento. When you left us last, I was giggling like a madman driving my little yellow nugget on the way to the workshop to start the work on it. It's now in the workshop, but it's still very much in need of a lot of work. The dashboard isn't in, much like it wasn't in the last episode. Actually, it still isn't flocked because, as we proved, doing it DIY on the cheap doesn't work. Even by choosing one of the best kits you can get for it from flocking, it still doesn't come out very well at all, particularly in my case. And I just couldn't bring myself to pay someone else £250, yes really, to do it for me. So frankly, flocking was off the table, and off the dash as well, I suppose. But the dash has still been updated and nicely transformed. It's now been painted in a kind of satin semi-matte black paint, especially designed for interior plastics that's hard wearing and pretty non-reflective. Brian, who helped out in rebuilding this car, used it on the interior of his VW T4 camper. I loved it in there, and I love what it's done to the dash of the Super Seicento as well. And now, without further ado, let's complete one of the most potentially complex and frustrating jobs we might ever have to do on this car, and that is completely refit that interior. Here goes. We start by lifting the dash into place to work out where everything mounts. The loom clips into different parts in the back of the dashboard, but space it wrong and certain plugs won't reach what they need to plug into. Thankfully though, with each accessory having its own individual spot on the dash, there is an easy way to check we've got it right.
Exactly, because if you go, well, that speaker's got to go there and that rev counter's got to go up there, if all the plugs do actually reach, it can't be a million miles off, can it?
No. It doesn't matter where you put a torch.
It never goes where you want it, and it always shines in your eye.
Eventually the torch is brought to heel, and we're happy with our wiring placement and that the fuse box, which is the last connection on the loom, will reach and plug in. The fuse box is mounted up, and now the loom can be fed through and clipped into the back of the dash, being careful not to lose any connectors in the process.
Before we bolt the dash back in, those A-pillar trims have to go in before the dash.
No.
They do. You won't be able to get them in with the dash in.
Next, headbutt the camera not once, but twice for good measure, and then hold the dash in place loosely with a couple of bolts on each side. Dad then feeds the loom up the steering column to make sure everything reaches, and with our loom placement sorted, we celebrate the only way that we know how.
Right, I think...
Let's bolt the dash up first.
Let's have a cup of tea.
To celebrate progress, we will have some tea.
Tea drank, the repainted A-pillar trims are first to go in on account of slotting behind the dash.
I think I pulled them out using just a trim removal audio companion.
The bolts are loosened and the dash and door rubbers make way for the trims to fit in with the most satisfying noise ever.
There you go, how good does that look?
Trims fitted, the upper dash bolts are secured, and my dad flexes his annoyingly practical ratchet extension.
I really wish I'd had that extension when I took the dash out, because it took about an hour to undo that bolt. Just check for movement. Yes, that is solid as a Fiat. I've also managed to keep the... Oh. Hang on, there we go.
The dash body is fitted, and next up are the heater controls, held in by some screws. Luckily though, I've got a handy DIY tip for you.
Right, so have we got some self-tappers for that? Do you know where they
Funny you should ask that, I wrote it on my phone. Because when you're going to go weeks between taking things apart, you write down where all the screws are. Passenger door handle, HVAC and speedo cluster.
Ah.
See?
Yeah.
A couple of seconds of note making saves you hours of going, is it this screw, is it that screw, is it that screw?
Quite true.
See, not a complete idiot. Screws confirmed, I attach the heater controls on.
When you take things out, you learn it, exactly. And this is why you should never ever go on eBay and buy a car taken apart by someone else.
No.
Because they won't be there to tell you, oh, that screw you have to put in there and this one goes in there. and you see one that says 95% complete, some bits missing, and the bits missing are the bits that hold it together.
Next, my repainted rev counter can be plugged in and mounted in a not in any way awkward fashion. Dad said that painting the gauges wouldn't be worth doing, but when it looks this good, I feel like I might have earned a gloat.
I told you that was no good.
Yeah, I told you to do it black, didn't I?
Shut up.
Still on the moral high ground, I then advised my dad on fitting an air vent.
You just give it a douche and it
A douche?
a douche, that's the technical term.
Like that?
Told you, that is a douche.
Dad then retaliates with impressive cable tidying on the fascia.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that, that's technology.
Factory, that is.
Technology.
Look at that. That is factory.
That's amazing.
The only problem is we've got now.
Is it upside down?
Yeah.
The fascia clips in, but having screwed it on, we're struggling to work out why the two outer knobs don't fit back onto the controls. Turns out, we're the knobs.
No.
They got to go on off first.
Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's pot, isn't it? Mind you, we haven't got to take that off.
Let's ignore the fact that we had to completely remove the heater controls and fascia just to fit the knobs back on and concentrate on the next job, plugging in and screwing on the passenger's speaker and Dad bolting the key barrel onto the steering column. The electric window switch install means threading the wiring from behind to connect to the switch at the front. The plugs are stuck fast, but eventually...
Ow! I've got it!
Bravely soldering on despite my war wound, I eventually refit the passenger's window switch.
Oh, hello. Come on. Yes!
Dad meanwhile connects the key barrel and prepares the wiring for the horn and the column controls. I then give the stereo bracketry some inspiration to fit.
What's stopping that now? Is it just lack of determination? Just you don't believe in yourself. I think that's all it was. It just didn't believe in itself.
Suitably motivated, the driver's window switch goes in, the column stalks are connected, and the head unit reinstalled. Next, I decide to tackle the air vents, a simple task that I'm perfectly capable of, until I run into some issues fitting it.
Largely because it's the one for the driver's side, you knob. They're sided, and this is the one for the driver's side. Take two. Notice how it fits.
The actual passenger's vent fell apart during removal, and now it's time for YouTube's Fiat idiot to attempt to fix it.
Which way does it? Oh, it does that. Okay. Oh, is it that easy? No. Say don't so. Yes, I've fixed it.
Okay.
I actually have as well.
You actually
I actually have. Like, I haven't made it look like I fixed it for camera. I've genuinely taken a thing that wasn't fixed and fixed it. Yeah. Behold. Vintage. Working.
Dad makes a celebratory tea while I fit the driver's side speaker, and with the boss kit bolted on and the speedo temporarily installed, we go for a systems check.
Oh. Fuel gauge, yeah, we've got warning lights, fuel gauge, clock. That all works. Headlights. High beams. Yes. Wipers. Yep. And rev counter works as well. Yeah, look.
So you've got no warning lights on at all?
No warning lights, rev counter works, all the lights work, horn works.
Good.
Yes! All works.
With that, the steering column cowling is fitted, the steering wheel itself bolted on, and for the first time in around 6 weeks, the Super Seicento has a dashboard and interior.
We're done! After weeks of the Super Seicento looking like it was being partied out or that it had been stolen with no interior, no dashboard and no dials, our transformation from boring grey to slick and stealthy black is nearly complete, and I am absolutely chuffed with how this interior looks, to be honest. I was worried the black would look a bit too uniform, a bit too dull, but not at all. It looks really, really classy and has nicely modernised what was quite a dull and outdated looking interior. There's still a lot more to do to complete the transformation from old, outdated 90s grey into sharp, modern black with yellow, but for now, the interior is going off to one side. As good as it looks right now, our focus is now going to be on the exterior. exterior to get the outside of the car looking as clean, sharp, aggressive and all round as brilliant as I've got in my mind I want it to look when we line up next to those incredible modified Fiats in Poland in late June. That is all to come, so get subscribed so you don't miss out on those adventures, and I'll catch you very soon everybody. Thanks for watching and have a good one.